From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News Weekend Edition.
Good evening and welcome to this special Super Bowl Sunday edition of the Fbx Evening News. I'm Katie Looper. Our top story tonight. Just after 1 p.m. Saturday, two aircraft collided in mid-air over the Mat-Su Valley. Troopers and medical personnel responded and found two separate wreckage sites. One of the planes involved was an Alaska Wildlife Trooper aircraft. It wasn't immediately known what type of aircraft the other one was. Both pilots were found alive, one with serious injuries, the other with what were believed to be moderate injuries. The wildlife trooper was taken by ambulance to the Mat-Su Regional Hospital. The other had to be extricated from the wreckage of his aircraft and was flown to the hospital in Anchorage. The crash is being investigated by the National Transportation Safety Board. Yesterday afternoon, Alaska State Troopers received a report of a traffic accident on Nordale Road. Troopers and medical personnel responded and found that two vehicles had collided. All occupants of both vehicles were taken to the Fairbanks Memorial Hospital for treatment. There was one serious injury confirmed in the wreck. The investigation is continuing. And Alaska lawmakers will be working on marijuana legislation this coming week. Alaska voters last November approved the recreational use of marijuana, and it becomes legal the 24th of this month. Lawmakers are working on regulations for the sale and production of marijuana. The Senate State Affairs Committee held a hearing last week along with the Judiciary Committee. Judiciary will take it up again this week, according to Senator Leslie McGuire.
And that's the subject of the marijuana initiative and the legalization of marijuana. Representative Ledoux and I have worked extensively over the interim in preparation for how we'll handle the committee through the judiciary process. And we've come forward today with the first of a series of bills, which is the heart of the issue, Senate Bill 30, and that's the decriminalization of marijuana.
Officials with the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District are asking parents with sick children to remain at home due to a spike in recent flu cases. With influenza season upon us, the district has seen confirmed cases in schools across the interior. In an email, the district urged parents with students that may have a fever of over 100 degrees or symptoms such as a cough, sore throat, headaches, or fatigue to remain at home for 24 hours after the fever. Another tip is to remember during flu season to wash your hands. The Center for Disease Control reminds the public that is the best way to prevent transmitting viruses in places such as school, work, and even public restaurants. When you get your electric bill this month, it should be lower than usual. Golden Valley Electric has asked the Regulatory Commission of Alaska to drop its rate for the fuel costs since the price of oil is down. The RCA approved the request. That means that customers' fuel charge should be about 28% lower than usual. The request is usually done each quarter, but GVEA asked for it early because oil prices had dropped by about 50% since July. Golden Valley President Corey Borgeson said the utility tries to keep the fuel cost it charges its customer as close to the real price as possible. A hearing officer will start working on the labor dispute between the City of Fairbanks and the City Police Monday. The public safety employees members who are not allowed to strike have been working under the old contract since January 1 of 2013. The PSA, which represents police and dispatch employees, filed suit last November accusing the city of refusing to bargain in good faith. Former Alaska U.S. Senator Mark Begich has accepted a position at National Association for Home Care and Hospice. Begich will be Vice President for Policy and Development, President and CEO of the Foundation for Hospice and Home Care, and Dean of NAHC's Home Care University. Begich was defeated by current U.S. Senator Dan Sullivan in his bid to get re-elected in 2014. The National Association for Home Care and Hospice describes itself as a nonprofit organization that represents the nation's 33,000 home care and hospice organizations. And when we come back, a local Fairbanksan is recognized for his photographic skills in covering a historic event. Also, the Boys and Girls Club is gearing up for a special event that will help to raise funds for the unique agency. Stay with us. Welcome back. Paratroopers assigned to the 3rd Battalion from Alaska are training in the high reaches of the Sierra Nevada range with Marines at the Marine Corps Mountain Warfare Training Center. The month-long training rotation is affording approximately 100 Alaska-based paratroopers the chance to go through high-altitude training opportunities. When they complete the training, the members of Able Company will transition from students to the opposing force for the 26th Marine Expeditionary Unit. The Camp Lejeune-based unit is completing a deployment validation field exercise. This is the first time an Army unit has served as the opposing force for a Marine unit at the training center.
I think that coming from Alaska definitely gave us a leg up on this training. Guys kind of knew what to expect. We're used to the cold temperatures, so it wasn't that shock factor getting out here. The guys are enjoying the training. They've had a good time down here. It's a good experience for them, I think, to be around some of their brothers in arms in a different branch. And overall, I'd say it was an overwhelmingly positive experience.
Officials with the University of Alaska Fairbanks, coupled with law enforcement officials, teamed up earlier this week to learn about the Green Dot program. Aimed at preventing the spread of violence by being aware of one's surroundings, the university says the training was part of a bigger step to launch the program. According to the police, the Green Dot program will be implemented on campus in April and later in Fairbanks in August. Students will be able to attend classes to learn ways to prevent violent situations, and those in attendance said the training provided will help.
We want to affect significant change. You can't do it alone. And so this is a way that we as a campus community can join together and really effectively and significantly change the environment that all of us are in.
The beauty of Green Dot is that the message can be carried on. It can be shared to a much wider audience, and yes, students can take it home to their home communities, and people can learn about the steps that they can take to prevent violence.
The mission of the local Boys and Girls Club of the Tanana Valley is to empower and inspire the diverse youth to reach their full potential. February 13th at the Westmark Hotel Gold Room at 5:30 in the evening, the public will have a chance to help keep this worthy agency to continue its mission with their 23rd annual Have a Heart auction. The evening will feature dinner along with a silent and live auction, with all the proceeds going to the agency. Volunteers along with the items are needed to make the event a success.
We do a live and silent auction, and so people ask, what's an auction item, and we ask people to look around their homes. Is there some artwork that you're maybe tired of looking at, or you bought at an auction a couple years ago and your husband doesn't want to see it anymore? That's a great item for us.
This year is the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights March from Selma, Alabama to Montgomery. James Barker is a photographer from Alaska, and he shared his memories of documenting the famous march. Barker was a technical photographer working at Washington State University. He was recognized on campus as a photographer particularly interested in photographing people. One Friday evening, he received an unexpected phone call from a friend who told him the university was arranging to send 3 representatives to witness and photograph the 3rd attempt to march. Barker was selected to go for 5 days, and now 50 years later, the original prints are recognized to have considerable historic value. The pictures have been shown in exhibits such as the Rosa Parks Museum in Selma, and this March, the originals will be displayed at the Stephen Kasher Gallery in New York. Barker described himself not as a press member, but as a participant observer.
What I wanted to do was put a human face on everything and be a part of people and photograph conversations and personalities. And I found that in the basement of Brown Chapel, there were lots of tables and people drinking coffee and a little bit of food, and people were intensely talking. And that to me was really interesting. I photographed a lot in the basement of the church.
A local dance studio is training to send their students to a national dance competition. Dance Theater Fairbanks is a local studio that offers classes of all genres, including ballet, tap, jazz, and lyrical. This year, the students are gearing up for a national competition held in California. The competition is called Dance Excellence, and it's attended by students both across the country and even from students abroad. The students will present different pieces and will have the chance to represent Alaska in the competition. In previous shows, at least 7 students have been invited to become part of a performing college known as the Young Americans. Dance Theater Fairbanks is a nonprofit organization located behind Sadler's. The University of Alaska Fairbanks Film Club is asking filmmakers to send in their work. As a part of the 2015 Thaw Out Film Festival, producers and movie makers alike can submit their best work, which will then be considered to be shown at the festival. Submissions will be accepted from anyone in the UAF film program, the general public, and even local high school students can submit their best work. In order to be considered, you must have your film submitted by April 20th. The actual Thaw Out Film Fest will be held in May at the Salisbury Theater on campus. For more information, you can visit the university's website. And Mike Schultz is coming up next, and he says there's a blizzard in Chicago. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, welcome back into our special Sunday edition of the Fbx Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again. Hope you enjoyed the game. You may not be enjoying the weather forecast coming up for later on this week. We'll tell you more about that in just a little bit. Our photograph tonight is a beautiful photograph. This one's sent in by Richard Mitchell, looking toward the Alaska Range. You can see the sunshine on the Alaska Range there, nice colors. And as always, if you have a photograph to share, by all means send it to photos@ktvf11.com. Here's our almanac right now. Today's high 20 degrees below zero. The overnight low last night 26 below. Record high 43 in 1940. Record low 57 below in 1910. Your sunrise and sunset works out to about 7 hours and 4 minutes of daylight. Yay, we're going over the 7-hour barrier. And that gives us a gain of 6 minutes from yesterday. On our satellite radar, not a whole lot to talk about. As you can see, high pressure once again dominating the overall weather scene. That is allowing some clouds to start moving in from the northwest, but they're going to probably remain to the north of us, and we are still looking at a little bit of southerly flow, but not strong enough to really pump us up that far as we were hoping for. What's going on across the rest of the state? Well, we can see over southeast Alaska, the rains have returned to the Ketchikan area, and they're looking at nice weather around the Anchorage Bowl, 20 degrees there, sunshine also Kodiak, 39 degrees, and up and down the west coast, looking at some beautiful weather there, lots of sunshine. Barrow looking at mainly cloudy skies, 24 degrees below zero at Fort Yukon. To the lower 48 we go, lots of weather to talk about here. First of all, it is raining over the Pacific Northwest. Then if you head on down to the south, temperatures cooling down around Denver, 23 degrees. And a lot of snow and mess going on across the central and northern plains. Minneapolis at 17 degrees. Chicago getting lots of snow. As Katie told you earlier, we're looking at a blizzard. I'll show you that in just a minute. More rain over the deep south, and they're getting ready for more snow over the northeast. Now we'll go to that satellite radar. Look at that mess going across Chicago. That is a lot of wind-blown snow and close to a 2 feet, or a foot of snow, I should say, in the Chicago area. There's all the rain down to the south. And over the west coast, once again, another Pacific storm moving across the Pacific Northwest. Now, as far as the snowfall totals, you can see 12 to 18 inches around the Chicago area and even into Detroit, and then further on down to the south, it starts to tail off a little bit, still a lot of weather expected there. The overall jet stream, once again, calling for a lot of cold air to be ushered in on this jet stream across the northeast, helping to develop, again, another northeast storm with more snowfall for places like Buffalo and also New York City, rain over the Pacific Northwest. Back to Alaska for tomorrow. Our forecast for the northern sections, blowing snow for Barrow, morning flurries for Nome, and partly cloudy skies for Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, more sunshine all the way across the region, with temperatures warming a little bit, not too bad. Over southeast Alaska, it looks like for the most part strong winds to continue in the Juneau area with rain and snow at Ketchikan. So the cool air moving down to the south there. And over the southwest part of the state, cloudy skies at Bethel, mostly sunny for Cold Bay, plenty of sunshine for Kodiak, while over the south central sections, decreasing clouds with widespread sunshine at Anchorage, Homer, and Valdez. Okay, so what's our forecast look like for tonight? Well, we're looking at, once again, 20 degrees below zero for the overnight low. Not quite as cold as it was last night. Tomorrow's forecast, 0 and another day with lots of sunshine. But here comes the bad news. Unfortunately, another cold wave coming our way right on toward the end of the week. You see temperatures dropping down to the mid-20s to near 30 below by Friday and Saturday. No snowfall in the forecast, and it looks like temperatures are going to cool down. And speaking of forecasts, tomorrow, Katie, is Groundhog Day.
Right,
Yeah.
it is.
And it's Marmot Day for Alaska.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we have a special marmot that tells us it's going to be cold. I think we all can figure that one out, right?
Yes.
All right.
All right, well, that'll wrap up this Saturday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We're glad you could join us.
But don't go away anywhere because Joe Cook is coming up with a special edition of sports.
And that's right, Mike. After that, we'll have some select programs for you with a special edition of Jimmy Fallon at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, good program. From all of us here at the News Center, enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you back again tomorrow.